So, to kick us off in our second section, I'd like to bring Mr. Adam Peruta to the stage. Adam Peruta is an associate professor at the SI Newhouse School of Public Communications at Syracuse University, where he also serves as program director of the MS in Advanced Media Management. His work sits at the intersection of media, technology, and business, focusing on how emerging technologies, especially artificial intelligence, are reshaping communication, creativity, and decision-making. He has played a key role in developing a new curriculum in AI and emerging media at Newhouse. A recognized speaker on generative AI and the future of media, Adams works with students, organizations, and industry leaders to better understand both opportunities and the risks of rapidly evolving digital systems. His work emphasizes a practical approach to AI literacy, helping people build the judgment and habits needed to navigate a world where content can be created instantly, at scale, and with remarkable realism. His research and teaching explores not just these tools, what they can do, but how they are changing the way we trust, create, and connect. AI can now create almost anything: images, video, text, even human-like conversations. But when everything can be made, what can be trusted? In this talk, Adam explores a new kind of AI literacy, one that goes beyond simply spotting what's real and what's not, because detection is only the beginning. The deeper challenge is understanding the systems shaping what we see, what we believe, and what we increasingly hand off to machines. Through a practical framework built around a set of new instincts, he offers simple but powerful questions to help navigate a world of increasingly persuasive technology. This talk about trust, judgment, and what should remain human at a moment when those decisions matter more than ever. Welcome to the stage, speaker number 4, Adam, with his talk, When Everything Can Be Made, What Can Be Trusted?
Welcome back from intermission. I want to start things off by sharing with you all a video that my mom sent me recently. So cute, right? A cat finds an owl. They somehow become friends. It's adorable. It's wholesome. It's exactly the type of thing you send to somebody that you care about. And the comments on this video were about exactly what you would expect. Some people were really delighted by the video. Some people were joking about the video. And then there was a whole other group basically asking, wait, is this video AI? And that's because it is. This video isn't real. And that moment right there, that small gap between what feels real and what is actually real, is what I want you to think about. And now, my mom, she wasn't being careless. She was being human. She saw something that was charming, that was surprising, and she responded to it. And more, this is the world that all of us live in, right? It's a world where AI can make images, video, text, and even conversation that moves us before we have the chance to even question it. So the challenge now isn't just spotting a fake. It's learning how to trust, it's learning how to judge, and it's learning how to, let's just say, keep some things human when we can turn more and more over to the machines. Now, I had to tell my mom, I had to break it to her, I had to tell my mom that this video wasn't real. And this was her response. And I love this response because it's very funny, yes, but it's also very revealing, right? And she was just acting like an ordinary person who was realizing that the internet had suddenly changed. So I thought, well, let me tee up another question for her. And so I asked her, what do you know about ChatGPT? And with this response, that's when it really hit me, right? People are being pulled into AI-shaped media before they have the language or the awareness to describe what they're even looking at. And to be clear, this is not about anyone's intelligence. It's just about ordinary people living inside a media environment that changed much faster than their instincts did. Now, according to a Gallup poll, nearly every single American, every single one of you sitting in this room, you are exposed to AI every single day in one way or another. But 2/3 of you, 2/3 of us, don't realize it. So AI literacy can't be a skill, a niche skill just for tech people. It has to become an everyday habit. So now maybe the comforting story here would be that, well, at least young people like Gen Z, they can tell the difference. Maybe digital natives can spot AI where older generations miss it. But that is not what I found. I went out and I asked Syracuse students to do something that sounds very simple. I showed them 2 images, and I just asked one question. Which one is AI?
This might be difficult.
I think the one on the left is AI.
I think that is the one on the right.
I think the picture on the left is AI.
I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell with some of this stuff.
Whichever it is, the AI did a really good job on the shadows. I'm
gonna guess the one on the right is AI.
Yeah, wrong again. That's really awesome.
I feel like a bear.
No! Wow, okay. After lock this door.
I was wrong.
That's AI. That's truly like scary, but like also really cool at the same time. Like that's
But that was virtually impossible to tell the difference, genuinely.
AI is evolving. You could be easily fooled.
It is really difficult to tell what's real and what's fake.
There's a combination of fear, but also I'm amazed.
So, guys, those are college students, people that have grown up constantly online. And what you just heard was not certainty, right? It was hesitation. I think the one on the right, no, the one on the left, I don't know, I'm just gonna have to guess. So yes, even students, they are younger and they are more online, but they are navigating the same new reality. And that familiarity does not equal literacy. The old cues don't work anymore. The realism, the level of detail, no longer reliable proof. We need something much deeper. But before I go any further, I want to acknowledge something. I'm not here just to tell you that AI is fake or bad or dangerous, because it's not. It's also really, really amazing. So for the first time, we have a situation where anybody, any of you in this room, you have an idea, something in your mind, in your imagination, all you have to do is describe it very simply, in plain language, a couple sentences, and you will see it brought to life right in front of your eyes. That is really, really exciting, okay? Now, there's something that is extraordinary about giving everybody that kind of creative capability. But the same technology that can help someone create, it can also produce something that can easily bypass our judgment. The same systems that make creation easier also make trust harder. And it's not just that AI can make fake things, it's that AI can make believable things. It's that AI can make some really useful things, beautiful things, really funny things, comforting things, right? Things that we want to trust. So no, the answer here is not just to look a little bit closer. It's not about getting better eyes, right? It's all about developing better instincts, right? Because if we can't rely on the realism alone, and if the technology is only getting more persuasive, then the question is, what instincts do we need now? And by instincts, I don't mean hunches. I mean learned reflexes, questions that should become second nature whenever anything online is asking for our trust. So the first instinct that I want to give you is the instinct to pause. And that's asking yourself, what is this making me feel and how fast? Right? Because AI is really good at emotional acceleration. As you saw, it can create something adorable before we even ask if it's real. We hear about fake images, and it kind of makes us angry. You hear about voices being cloned, and I don't know, that gets me kind of panicked, right? Those headlines that are made up can just reinforce what we already fear. So the idea behind this one is very simple. The faster something makes you feel, the slower you should respond, right? If you see a social media post and it instantly hits your emotions, that's probably a sign that we need to take a breath and slow down before we share it or before we send it to somebody else. The second is the instinct to verify, and this is asking, well, where did this come from, and what supports it besides how convincing it feels, right? So who made it? Who posted it first? Can I track this back to a real person, a credible source? Or does it fall apart the minute I try to trace it upstream? Because again, in the age of AI, it's really easy to fake those surface level details, right? The voices, the logos, the headshots, the authoritative tone, really, really easy to fake. So if you can't tell where something came from or what backs it up, be very careful about where you let it take you. The third one I want to give you is the instinct to zoom out, asking, what am I not seeing, and why am I seeing this right now? Right? Because sometimes the problem is not the content itself, it's the frame around the content. Even real material, legit content, can mislead when it's cropped or chopped up or clipped in the wrong way, right? And then beyond that, the more important question is like, why did the system think that I should be seeing this right at this moment? So in other words, don't just read the post. Make sure that you're reading the environment. Again, because increasingly, our beliefs are not shaped only by what is created, but they're shaped by what is recommended to us, what is amplified, and what is rewarded with our attention. So we have to widen the frame. Now, the fourth instinct, the last one I'm going to give you, may be the most important one of all, and that is the instinct to stay human, asking, what judgment stays mine? Because AI can do many things astonishingly well. For example, it can help us move faster, right? But there are decisions that speed should not make for us, right? So an example of that might be who deserves our empathy, right? When does a student need feedback, not just evaluation? Or when there's a choice that you have to make and there's real moral weight to it, not just some like computational convenience. So it's not whether AI can do more or not, because it will, and it is. It's whether we remember what should still require a human being. So when something online asks for your trust, maybe the new literacy isn't just like one monolithic expert skill. It's really these 4 everyday habits: pause, verify, zoom out, stay human. Right? They will help you as a student decide what to cite. They will help you as a teacher decide what to accept. They help all of us decide when to rely on a machine and when to rely on one another. So in a world where almost anything can be made, trust is no longer something we can passively feel. It's something that we have to actively practice. And you don't need to become some kind of digital forensic analyst. Really, you just need the 4 questions inside of those instincts, right? So sometimes it's going to be a video that moves you, right? Other times it's going to be a headline that provokes you, or maybe it's a feed, a social media feed that seems to know you a little bit too well, right? Those objects are going to change, but the questions do not, right? So I'm not talking about, just a technical skill here. It's a habit of attention, right? And it's just a way of slowing down just a little bit enough to protect your judgment before something polished or persuasive or emotionally loaded sweeps that away very quickly. So that's the goal. That's it. Just a better pause, a better question, and then another. And once those questions start to become habits, even that little cat and owl video that I showed you starts to look a little bit different. And this brings me back to right where I started this off, right? So when I saw this video that my mom sent with me, I knew exactly why she sent it, right? It offers a tiny burst of wonder, right? This video was designed, it was perfectly designed to make you feel for a moment like the world is a little bit sweeter and stranger than you thought. And what stayed with me is not the video that you're watching, but is also the response to the video. And yeah, apparently my mom is not unique, right? Yeah, Sarah, same, I hear you. And this is how AI enters people's lives now. It's not about a scam, it's not about a deception, right? It's not something dramatic, it's just through ordinary moments, right, that come from ordinary relationships. Now, I looked at the more than 3,600 comments on this video, and for the ones that specifically mentioned AI, the positive comments outnumbered the negative comments 2 to 1. Right? Twice as many people had positive things to say about this video. And I think this is something that really matters because synthetic media does not have to fool us to shape us. Sometimes people know exactly what they're looking at, and they still enjoy it. They still share it. They still welcome it into their emotional lives. And I think that's the part that really unsettles me. Because when wonder becomes something that can be manufactured, we risk changing our relationship to the real thing. If a machine can give us an endless stream of these impossible, animal friendships and perfect images, then reality itself can start to feel a little slower, duller, maybe less worthy of our attention. And that's the deeper loss than simply being deceived, because the world is slower, it's messier, it's less perfectly tailored to what we want in the moment. But it's also where trust is built, it's also where care is mutual, and it's where surprise has weight to it because it's encountered, right? It's not something that is generated. And maybe that's the deepest risk. Not that we believe every fake, but that we will slowly lose patience for the unedited world. Maybe the deeper task of AI literacy is not just learning to spot what is synthetic, it's protecting our ability to value what is real. So, like me, maybe it begins with something as small as a cute animal video that your mom sends you. You smile, you pause, you ask a better question, but then you turn back to the real world, not less open to wonder, but more careful about what has actually earned it. When everything can be made, what matters next is not just spotting that fake, it's protecting your relationship to the real thing. Thank you.